Hello, Professor and everyone. I'm Guo Haokun, and I'm here to finish the radio question in homework 2. So let's get started. The first question is question 2 in homework 2. There are 4 questions. Let's see them in the order. The question A is find the probability that x2 is equal to 1. So consider the description of this question. The question is just about the noise channel, and the variables will be passed to the next variable one by one. And consider what we have know about the probability. So the question A is very easy. So the probability that x2 is equals to 1 is equal to, there are two conditions. Condition 1, when x1 is equals to 0, and the condition 2 is when x1 is equals to 1. So we can just plus them, we can get the result. So probability that x2 is equals to 1 is equals to the condition probability when x1 equals to 1 and x2 equals to 1 times the probability that x1 is equal to 0 plus the condition probability that x1 is equal to 1 and x2 is equal to 1 times the probability that x1 is equal to 1. So after the easy calculation, we can get the result is 0.64. And the question B is find the probability x3 is equals to 1. Well, there are actually two ways to solve this question. We can consider from the variable x1, or we can consider start from the x2. So maybe the second way is easier to understand. So I finished this question from the third way. So the probability that x3 is equals to 1, there are also two conditions, just like the way we discussed in the question A. So the probability that x3 is equals to 1 equals to the condition probability that x2 is equals to 0 and x3 is equal to 1 times the probability that x2 is equal to 0 plus the conditional probability that x2 equals to 1 and x3 equals to 1 times the probability that x2 is equals to 1. So in this question, in question A, we had to know that the probability when x2 equals to 1. So as the first, we must calculate the probability that x2 equals to 0. It is very easy, just like the calculation we had done in question A. Like this, we can get the probability that x2 equals to 0 is equals to 0.36. So well, we can just put the result in this format. So we can get this probability that x3 equals to 1 is equals to 0.4 times 0.36 plus 0.7 times 0.64. So we can get the result that 0.592. So question 3 is find the conditional probability that when x3 is equals to 1 and x1 is equals to 0. Well, considering that it is the conditional probability, we can write the format as the first, like this. Well, in this format, we have know the probability of x3 is equals to 1 and the probability x1 is equals to 0. So the question becomes, how can we get the result of this variable? Well, remember that in question B, I said we can consider this probability because the variable is be passed one by one, so we can consider all the probability from x1 like this. So we can have the format like this. When we can have the probability that any variable when x there is equals to n like this. So we can have this variable is almost like all the condition we had know in the description of the question. So we can get the result of these two probability like this. So this format means the conditional probability of x1 and x3. So we can get this result. So the conditional probability when x1 equals to 0 and x3 equals to 1 is equals to 0.52. So we can easily get the result of this probability about 0.19. So the last question in question 2 is find the limit when 0 is about infinite, probability xn is equals to 0. Well, just like what I said in question B and 3 in this question 2, we can just get the result of the probability like this one. So this is the probability when x1 equals to 0 and 1. And this is the I can consider is like a passing variable, right? So consider is this calculation is not easy enough to do, so we can change like this way. So we can get the probability when xn equals to 0 or 1 from the probability that xn minus 1, right? So consider that n is about equals to the infinite. So the probability that xn minus 1 equals to 0 is almost equals to the probability that xn equals to, right? So we can let this two variable is equals to x, so which we can have this format, right? This is the probability that n minus 1, and this is n. So we can get x is equals to 3/7. So this result is probability that xn is equals to 0 is equals to 3/7. So that's question 2.